Hello, YouTube. Just thought I'd give you guys a really quick update about the project Good Enough, the RV restoration, and why I do what I do. Now, some people were thinking that I was going to get the RV to try to fix it up and drive it around the country. That may happen, but in all honesty, a 30-foot or 29-foot RV is actually quite huge. And if you've ever seen me drive on the mountains, through the mountains, even in the little rental car, then you know I freak out on those little tiny roads with, you know, 2-lane roads through the Smoky Mountains or even the Rocky Mountains. And if you have traveled across America, then you realize that, especially if you try to head out to the west and Midwest, you know, when you're crossing the Great Continental Divide, there's like mountains everywhere. So my goal of traveling across the country is not going to be in a big, huge RV, at least not for now, unless I get good enough running really well and decide, you know what, I'm comfortable enough driving this big beast through mountains and over cliffs. So the plan for Good Enough is meant primarily to turn it into a tiny house on wheels. And that means that the ability for it to be mechanically sound, although it is nice to have one that is mechanically sound, is outweighed by the ability for it to be a nicer home. You know, so I'm going to concentrate most of my build, believe it or not, on turning it into a home versus turning it into a travel vehicle. And what that does is allows me to shift the limited funding that we have to fixing up the vehicle so that, you know, it is comfortable and maybe even in a lot of ways luxurious when you compare it to minivans such as Little Blue 2. So that is the focus of what I'm doing on these repairs and renovations, rehab. I'm basically bringing the system online to make it functioning as a little tiny house on wheels. I do plan on working on some of the mechanicals to get it to run better, but my goal is not to drive this RV across the country. It's just too big for me. I may travel across the country in a smaller vehicle. There's a chance in the future, if I get enough you know, money saved from my job and whatnot, that I will build a larger van for my wife and myself to travel in, or maybe even a smaller van, just like a Little Blue 2, just designed for 2 people to be economical for traveling across the country. Because, you know, you're just kind of using it to travel and sleep in. Because you're not there to be in the van, you're there to be in the country, to see the world, to see the Grand Canyon and stuff, which we've seen before on a trip, but I'd like to go again. I love the Grand Canyon. So that's what you're going to be watching. So stay tuned for this episode where we actually try to fix the flooring with some nice wood panels that actually were surprisingly cheap. I only paid, I think it was like, it was $9 or $12 per case. It was like $11.98 or something like that per case, which is incredibly cheap. So for less than $50, I can do the entire flooring for the RV. So stay tuned, enjoy the video, take care now. Hello, YouTube. Alright, you can see that I actually have most of the flooring laid out. It's not done in the bedroom yet, but elsewhere it's mostly laid out. But you'll notice I started ripping up the front part. The reason for that is, you see these little gaps here? I've decided I'm going to try to make it fit better. There's no way they designed these things to fit with the gaps appearing this badly. What I'm talking about are these lines here. So I'm ripping everything out and trying to get it tightly. I did go to the store and buy these little thingies. I don't know what they're called, but to help me kind of pull things tight. And I'm just going to try to take everything out, even though the pieces are where they are. Some of it I've already screwed down, but I'm going to unscrew them and try to lay it out. And as I lay it out, keep it like tight, like right here. Try to keep the edges right here as tight as possible. That way, as it's laid out tight, and then it doesn't start to get loose like it is right now, which is really bad. So I will keep you guys posted, but meanwhile I am taking everything all apart. But we do know where the pieces will go, and this is kind of what it looks like right now. You can see the floor is pretty much in, other than the bedroom and the bathroom. So we'll go ahead and lay it all out, try to get it tight, especially right here, because this is really bad. Very bad right here. And walking on it, you know, see how it flexes up and stuff. We don't really need that, nor do we want that. So we're going to go ahead and take it all apart and see if we can't get a better fit. So stay tuned. All right, it's dark outside, so I figure I better call it done. As you can see, I fixed most of the gaps, but I wasn't able to get all of it. Using my mallet. I don't even know what to do with the mallet. Things are just everywhere. But a mallet and this crowbar thingy, I was able to kind of pull things a little bit tighter, although some areas you can see there are still gaps. And right here I had to cut a piece to fit in, so it's not pretty. There's the mallet. Time focusing here because it is dark. But I'm going to say the floor from here on out is pretty much done, other than the bedroom and the bathroom, which later on I'll be adding tile, or I may keep the carpet in there for a while until budget permits. Right now it's got the old carpet, which I will clean and see how that looks. But I'm pretty happy with the floor. It's better than it looked the other day. I did replace a couple panels. You can see there's still some little gaps, and I screwed some I screwed down the screw here in several spots, which is going to make a little bump. I might even screw it down a little bit tighter. But that was done to keep the panel flat, because the floor isn't even. There's remember there was this whole area was missing. The Texas shape and that thing back there and up here was not all even. So the floor had various bumps on it, and you should use like an underlay layer. But I didn't want to spend $20 to $40, $50 more on the flooring. I just bought the flooring, 4 cases of the cheapest laminate flooring that I could find, which was a little bit under $12 per case. And I think 4 of them was enough, so we're talking about $45 worth of tiles or laminate flooring. And I still need to do this side here for the bedroom, and I do need to fix that other area. But at least most of the RV is walkable now, so I can actually start to kind of live in it. So this mess can start to be cleaned up. Right now it's all mess because I was working on it. There's no place to store stuff because, you know, you're living in it and you're working in it. So I did manage to kind of fully finish this section off. I do need to put the doors back on there, and I need to put up the rest of the insulation and start the roofing to close things out, as well as replace these walls. But that's going to be done another day. That is a later project. My main thing is to get the flooring down, finish this room off so I have a nice bedroom. And the RV is pretty much usable, other than the living room section, which will need to be done. And this needs to be gutted out and new framing put in, because you can see it's all dry rotted. So piece by piece, section by section, it is starting to come together. The whole kitchen wall here will need to be gutted and redone. I may just put a new layer in front of it. I don't know. Remember, we're not doing this perfectly. Doing it perfectly means tearing everything down and redoing everything. But then we could, you know, end up spending tens of thousands of dollars trying to rehab this RV. I don't feel like doing that. I just want to have a usable, livable space. And the whole idea is to keep it under $1,000 total on the rehab, which includes all the materials and even the tools that I've had to buy, and possibly more solar panels, more powerful solar panels, and maybe even 1 or 2 extra batteries if I can afford it. Under $1,000 rehab, $1,200 RV. Basically, total cost, I wanted to keep everything under $2,500 for a new home on wheels. And I know some people were saying that, you know, this was a money pit and stuff, but I'm not planning on going crazy with it. Some of you, I know when you do stuff, you want to do it right. So you have $10,000, $20,000 that you're willing to sink into it. Me, I just want it good enough. You know, I just want it to have a little space that's livable and looks not too bad. I mean, I don't think this is too bad for a $40 paint, $40 floor job, you know. And I haven't put the trim on there, which is going to add maybe another $10, $20, maybe more. I don't know. And of course the roofing and then some paint. But all told, I think we're going to spend less than $300 rehabbing the RV itself, and then the rest of the money is going towards systems like the solar panels. So that's where we're at today. Wanted to thank you all for joining me. Hopefully next time when you see the video, the flooring here will be in place, and maybe parts of the walls will be up so that the bedroom starts to look like a real bedroom instead of what it looks like right now, which is kind of a mess. But yeah, I'm very happy that I can at least walk around now. I can walk around barefoot, you know, and it just looks so much better. The ODB or whatever that board is, that was, you know, seeing that every day and getting splinters from it in my foot and all over my socks, chunks of wood. This is so much more pleasant, and with the $40 that I spent, as well as the headache of trying to get it all to fit into place, I think it came together quite nicely. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Wanted to thank you all for joining me. I hope you found this video interesting, if not entertaining. Basically, the tip I would have for laying these guys out, you know, these boarded pieces of laminate board flooring, is that you have to kind of keep it tight. You know, as you put it in, you have to line it up, square it up perfectly, hammer it in place nice and tight, and just keep doing that. And then you get like the, you know, better joints than I have, because I didn't do that. So I guess my biggest tip for you is this: if you want to do flooring correctly, don't do what I did, okay? Do it the way they show you, which is probably they're going to put down some kind of subflooring. They're going to level things up, level the floor, put on subflooring, and then get all the proper tools and, you know, do the entire floor. And when you do it like that, it's probably going to be a couple hundred, if not a couple $1,000s. If you do it my way, it's $40 for the whole RV. So take it or leave it. That's good enough for me. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully next time when you see me, there'll be even more improvements. Have a great day now. Bye-bye.